Hey, okay, so there's some real serious stuff going on today and some really funny stuff and all sorts of stuff. 5-year-old dies in a hot car. Hold on, I'll turn this off. 5-year-old dies in a hot car in Garland, Texas, while temperatures outside were 108 degrees. Do not miss what I have to say about this in a moment. The Carmelo Anthony appeals trial, the people who support the murderer, Carmelo Anthony, are so excited today because they got a new judge to replace Judge John Roach, who heard the conviction trial of the murderer Carmelo Anthony. Also, a Democrat. This is so incredible. This is insane. A Democrat from Illinois, until some point when she moved to Texas, is running for office, and she has an insane, inordinate amount of crimes, cocaine, high-speed chases with cops, and she's running as a freaking Democrat. Remember, a big tent party. All that coming up in just one moment. But first, this show is brought to you by IRSproud.com, helping good people with IRS problems, specializing in IRS controversy, IRS audits, and tax planning strategies. IRSproud.com. Okay, 5-year-old. This is There's nothing funny at all about this. 5-year-old girl dies after being left in a hot car in 100. It was 108 degrees, not in the car, outside. I don't even know what the temperatures. I know it's insane right now. I look at my phone, but I have been living in the studio all week, working hard for filling in Chicago, Indianapolis, and other places, and doing the podcast and stuff. So, I step outside to get some relief from being 24/7 working my you know what off and being in the air conditioning. I didn't realize it was 108 yesterday. I think it was 104, 103. I don't know. It's insane. That's just how it is here, right? But there is no excuse. Oftentimes, it happens when people change their routine up or forget something or are tired or overworked. When you leave a kid in the car, it's criminal negligence, and you must be prosecuted. What's disgusting is, in all the coverage today, somebody from a group called Kids and Car Safety said, this is not a lapse of love. It is a lapse of memory. And this could really happen to anyone. Shame on you. This is not a lapse of love. It could happen to anyone. What a freaking lie from the pits of hell. This happens to people. This doesn't happen to anyone. Anyone that is moderately responsible doesn't do this. My wife and I raised our 2 kids and never once forgot a kid in the car for even 5 seconds. It is a crime. It is criminal negligence, and this is disgusting to see some group called Kids and Car Safety say this is not a lapse of love. How do you know? People have left and been convicted of leaving their freaking kids in a hot car on purpose to kill them. But you can always come out and tell us, hey, when you leave your kid in the car on purpose or not, it's not a lapse of love. Do you say it's not a lapse of love when somebody gets convicted for strangulating their child or beating their child to death? Then why would you say this? Shame on you. You disgust me. This is the 23rd hot car death in the U.S. this year. In Garland, Texas, this one happened. Adult family member came home from school with the 5-year-old and her older sibling. Older child got out of the car. 5-year-old did not. How is it that they didn't call 911 until 8 p.m.? They picked up the 5-year-old from school. It was the first year for her going to school. The little sweetheart's name is Jean Paul Faustina, or Jean Paul Faustina. It said it's a girl, so she's a girl. Yeah, Jean Paul Faustina. So I want this prosecuted to the fullest extent. And the only reason, like I said again, that you leave a kid in the car, and this was during an extreme heat warning impacting North Texas, is if you can't handle with your kid. If you're too busy, if you're overwhelmed, and you do this, then if you're too busy to know what the hell your kid is, too busy where you leave a kid in the car, then don't have a freaking kid or surrender the kid. There's no excuse. This is not normal. You don't need a stupid shoe. Take off one of your shoes, they say, and put it in the back. You don't need to leave your cell phone in the back. You don't need to leave your purse in the back. You need to freaking raise your damn kid like a moron, an inept fool, minimally decent parent, moron does not forget their kid in the car. No excuses. And you know what I always say too? Prosecute to the fullest extent. Let the judge and the jury, who hear all the facts of the case, then decide what the punishment should be. Maybe it'll be very little. Maybe it'll be almost nothing. But that is, prosecute these people. I'm so disgusted. It is not normal. Why are we normalizing people, criminally negligent people that kill their kids by leaving them in the car? I don't want to scream. I don't want to go too nuts, but there it is. By the way, I'm battling a cold, so if I'm a little weird sounding or a little this and that, it's because I'm battling a cold. Doing 3 hours of talk radio in Indianapolis today and 4 hours of talk radio yesterday in Chicago at the same time was a little, it can beat you up a little bit. Nonetheless, Karmelo Anthony, the thug, the murderer. There's a bunch of these idiots who wore purple and went into the trial today. There's only a couple dozen people. The longer Karmelo is, his conviction will never be overturned. About one, I heard another attorney. I've been telling you this for a couple months, since the conviction. So many experts on so many different outlets here in Dallas-Fort Worth have been asked what the chances of getting an appeal are, and then if he gets an appeal, what the chances of winning are. Another attorney said on WFA TV Channel 8 today, the chances of Karmelo actually getting an appeal are 1 in 100, 1%. He's not going to get it. I've been telling you this for weeks. Number two, and by the way, Jeff Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's dad, is going to be coming on the program as soon as next week. You know that nobody interviews people, and nobody spends time with people like I do. And that I am dangerous in this format because I don't have to stop for a break. Well, I do have some commercials, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, there's so much depth we get in these podcasts. I'm excited. Karmelo will not get an appeal, and period. And these idiots that went and showed up, a couple dozen, like I said, it's going to go lower and lower as each day and each week progresses. Karmelo will be forgotten because he's a murderer thug. And Karmelo, don't drop the soap. But today, Judge John Roach is the attorney my brand new blue ribbon DFW hat. They did all my roof and redid a lot of work on my house. It's incredible what they did. But that's for later. Karmelo Anthony's supporters were cheering. They came out of the courtroom pumping their fists. These poor idiots. It's because Judge John Roach, who is retiring soon, Collin County judge who presided over that case, my hair stylist, is incredible. I love her. She's been doing my hair for like 8 years now. I don't know what. She's incredible. She said that she cut Judge John Roach's hair for years. And she said he's the nicest, most wonderful guy. And my hairstylist is not a conservative. She's like half liberal, half conservative in the middle. And poor her, she's got to listen to some of my screeds when she's cutting my hair. I always try to be quiet because I can't stop. Anyway, the reason they were cheering is because Judge John Roach was he and the judge that is presiding over the hearing, who was brought in to decide whether Judge John Roach should be recused from the case, is Judge Sid Harrell. And Judge Sid Harrell actually said Judge Roach could rule fairly, he believed. But he asked Judge Roach, what about the optics? I mean, pretended it's not you and me. I think you'd be fine. There's no reason to take you out. But the optics to the average person. And Judge Roach says, that's fine. I'll step down. And so these people are cheering over this. The new judge is a retired Kaufman County judge from Metro DFW. And these people are freaking out and excited, but you're not going to get anything. So it's not a big deal. That's kind of it. And then, by the way, this is the best. I told you this. The clock has been ticking because in Texas you only have, let me see how many days it is. You have 75 days to rule on a motion for a new trial after the defendant is sentenced. What does that mean for Karmelo? For Mello? It means that there's 5 days. So Judge Roach today in the hearing was recused. A new judge is assigned, a retired Kaufman County judge. And literally Karmelo's team has 5 days to get an appeal. And guess what else? If they don't in 5 days, it's over. He doesn't even get an appeal. So if the hearing with the new judge that comes up in the next several days, if the attempt to get an appeal isn't even heard in full by 5 days from now, it literally is done. There's nothing, no recourse. You cannot extend it. This is the incompetency of, well, it's not the incompetency of his team. Toby Shook was one of his lawyers, and Toby Shook is a notoriously great criminal defense attorney and former federal prosecutor in the Northern District of Texas. So, you guys that were cheering today, you 10 people or whatever, wearing purple for the murder of Karmelo, no problem. Enjoy your day. This is the best you're going to get. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll see you in 6 days. Good luck with that. And remember, Karmelo, don't drop the soap. This is unbelievable. Let me show you a picture of this lady. This is incredible. Like me, this lady apparently is originally from Illinois. I don't know exactly what her where she lived at, but I know she's got a tremendous amount of crimes that she has been charged, convicted, pleaded guilty to with that are unthinkably ridiculous for somebody running for office. But of course, she's a Democrat. Remember, the Democrats say it's a big tent party, so why not, right? This is Brittany Black. This is so funny. Brittany Black, party girl. Check this out. This is from Texas Scorecard, and this is why they're the best publication statewide in the state of Texas. Democrat candidate's criminal record includes cocaine conviction, DUI, 120-mile-an-hour police chase. This woman right here, look at this. Brandon Waltons from Texas Scorecard did such a good job. Unfortunately, I have to read most of the story because it's a litany of all of her crimes and all of the police chases, cocaine convictions. It's unbelievable. This woman is currently running for Texas, I think state house or state rep in Collin County. So here we go. Here's her rap sheet. Democrat House candidate Brittany Black has a criminal history in Illinois that includes a felony cocaine conviction, a drunken driving conviction, and multiple arrests dating back nearly 2 decades. Yes! Where can I punch her? Can I vote, even though I don't live in her district? Can I vote for her, please? Big Tent Party. She's a Democrat. Brittany Black is a Democrat, challenging nominee State Rep Carissa Richardson for Texas House District 61, covering Collin County. She won Democrat primary in March with 56% of the vote. Her most serious encounter with law enforcement occurred April 2006. She was going 85 and a 65. State police tried to pull her over. She sped, and she did not stop. She did not pull over. She got in a police chase. She went 120 miles an hour, passing vehicles swerving through traffic as officers pursued her. She lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a ditch. Brittany Black, Democrat, Big Tent Party. Let's continue on. Police say that she initially denied having anything illegal in the vehicle before acknowledging there was cocaine inside. Wow. Officers reported discovering a bag containing white powdery substance along with a straw containing residue. Laboratory results later confirmed it was cocaine. Democrat, Big Tent Party. She was charged with aggravated freaking fleeing and eluding police, possession of a controlled substance, driving on a suspended license, speeding more than 40 miles an hour over the limit. Big Tent Party. Look at that. Oh, this is great. She ultimately pleaded guilty to possession of a controlled substance, a Class 4 felony in Illinois, my home state. Incident was not communist state. My incident was not Black's last encounter with law enforcement. Later in 2006, arrested and charged with domestic battery following an altercation with her then boyfriend's mother. Big Tent Party. Look at that. There we go. Brittany Black, party girl. Just don't get her mad. She might beat the hell out of you. And don't drive by her. She might do God knows what to you. Cops don't pull her over. She won't stop for you, apparently. Black continued to face legal trouble in the following years, including multiple citations for driving on a suspended license. Arrested in 2008 for disorderly conduct in Champaign, Illinois, where University of Illinois Champaign is. Chambana, as they call it. Champaign-Urbana. Authorities said she was in a drunken fight in the street. A month later, she was arrested for criminal damage to property. Marcos Lopez, the left. Marcos Lopez chiming in. Hello, my friend. He says, wow, the left always gets the best candidates to run. Yes, they do. There's more. But wait, there's more. And by the way, if you want to comment, if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, and here's where you can watch on YouTube or Rumble. If you comment, type in your comments on YouTube or Rumble while I'm live right now. I will see your comments, and I will kindly reply to them. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Another criminal case in Chicago. my birthplace, 2011. Police records state that they saw a black deliberately break the window of a residential building at 2 a.m. This woman is a party girl who's out of control. Why is she not a Hollywood star? Big Democrat party. Police say she was speeding. Hold on. That was a brat bashing a residential building at 2 a.m. The report said they suspected alcohol use. Then again, a year later, December 2012, she was arrested for driving under the... You can't believe this. Macon County, Illinois, for DWI. Police said that she was speeding, failed to properly lane change, disobeyed officers, was not wearing a seatbelt, failed a field sobriety test, and registered a blood alcohol level of 0.21, more than twice the legal limit. She was almost 3 times the legal limit. Brittany Black, Democrat, Big Ten party. Look at that. Great there. Party girl. Just don't get her mad. She'll beat the hell out of you, maybe. Police said, what do I got here also? Police also reported finding an open container of Seagram's whiskey in the vehicle, the drink of champions. She was ordered to complete substance abuse treatment and 100 hours of community service as part of the case. So there you go. Vote Democrat, vote often, have your grandmama who's dead vote, etc. Good times. Coming up next, what are the foot washing stations in DFW Airport? Where else are they? But here's the thing. How many of them are in DFW International Airport? And wait till you see a Muslim girl who's been being honored by Dallas College and what she's wearing. It'll floor you. Also, wait till you hear what the UK is telling the illegal migrants or their legal migrants from African Muslim countries, what they're telling them they can and can't do. Yet they're still letting them into their country with what they're warning them or telling them not to do. If you have to tell somebody that's coming into your country not to do these things, you should never bring them into your country. Wait till you hear what they're saying. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's unreal. Unreal. What in God's name? That is ushering in your own destruction. But first, this show's brought to you by IRSprob.com. All my taxes have been done for 10 years by Randy Martin. He helps good people with IRS problems. He also does tax planning and retirement-type tax planning. He's incredible. If you have IRS problems, if you lost a loved one and there's IRS issues with that loved one that passed away, if you have a business or your personal taxes and there's issues, you call Randy Martin. He's incredible. Or like I said, just want a great tax planner. We've been together for 10 years. Here we are. The band, 10 years ago. The band's been together for 10 years. Here's Randy speaking in his alma mater, UT Austin, because, well, he graduated from there, the best accountancy school in the state, and because they know he's incredible. Go to IRSPROB.com, helping good people with IRS problems, specializing in IRS controversy, IRS audits, and tax planning strategies, IRSprob.com, or call 214-214-3000, 214-214-3000. Jim Dutton is the host of Texas Home Improvement in Dallas-Fort Worth on TV and radio, also on in Houston and Austin. Jim's dad launched a plumbing and foundation business in the 70s. Jim took it over. He's been running it for, let me make up a number, 30 years. His sons joined in about, 15 years ago. I don't know. Johan and Adam. My wife worked at their plumbing business, Due West Foundation of Plumbing, for 3 years. Every piece of plumbing, every piece of foundation work, everything has been done here in this house for over 11 years for Jim Dutton. They were just at the house they were snaking my line, had a clog. Oh, they replaced my T&P valve on the water heater. They put that water heater in about 8 years ago. The T&P valve, temperature and pressure valve, a tiny little valve at the top. They go bad after a certain amount of years. I just want you to know that Due West is the best and to use them. You have a plumbing company, a foundation company. Foundation is not a licensed thing in Texas. It's unfreaking believable. It's horrible. I have a friend who's already done 2 foundation repairs with 2 people who you should not have hired. And I told him, you got to hire Due West. You have to. If you want the best, call Due West. Go to du-west.com, du-west.com, and tell them Chris Crock sent you. Or call 972-406-0912, 972-406-0912. And they do concrete leveling as well. And they do retention walls. They do grading. And they do root shields to keep the roots from underneath your house destroying your foundation. All right, there you go, du-west.com. If you want the best, call Due West. Okay, at DFW International Airport. By the way, Houston, George Bush Intercontinental Airport also has foot washing stations for Islamic people, and it's attached to supposedly non-denominational prayer rooms. They're not. They're for Muslims. That's what this is all about, and this should be stopped. Those stations should be shut down, turned into bathrooms, or just walled off and shut down. DFW has 2 of these stations already, even though the one that was just came in the news was canceled. There's 2 of them already going on at the DFW International Airport at Terminal D Interfaith Chapel. It's not an interfaith chapel, it's a mosque. When you have washing stations for your feet and a place of worship, it's a freaking mosque. Shut them down. It's discriminatory. Shut it down. Dallas Morning News doing this article today. Wudu is an Islamic ritual washing using water. Muslims use it for washing hands, mouth, nose, face, arms, heads, ears, and feet. It's a freaking shower. Pay for a shower at a hotel room, not in our public facilities. It's unbelievable. These are not accommodations for religious people. It's accommodations for Muslims. It's discriminatory. Stop it now and cancel them. Governor Abbott, grow a pair and cancel these 2 as well. Marcos Lopez chiming in with her background. That Democrat can play for the Dallas Cowboys. And, we want the trans rights stuff, so let a woman go in and play their Dallas Cowboys. Let her do it. She'll beat the crap out of him. She's an animal, man. She's a monster. That's great, Marcos. He also says Brittany Black can play for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, yeah, Brittany, yeah, so that's what he's saying. All right, in existing foot washing stations were added in Terminal D in 2019, says Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport spokesperson, following renovations to the terminal's interfaith chapel. It's not an interfaith chapel. It's a Muslim place of worship. It's been taken over, and it's wrong. Stop it, and stop it now. And they lie and say, oh, well, it's because there's a Muslim guys that'll be in there, or women that'll be washing their feet in the bathroom. I have lived proudly in Dallas-Fort Worth for 16 almost and a half years now. And I've never seen anybody washing their frickin' feet like a stork in a sink. I've never seen messes on the floor from sinks and people doing this. Maybe they do, but this is absolutely a hard frickin' no, period. Now, this is from Fox News' Bill Malugin. New UK government has issued a 9-page behavioral guide for asylum seekers, obviously Muslim asylum seekers, that includes teaching them that women must consent to sex. Why do Muslims need to be told, if we want them to come into this country, which I'm not saying that we should discriminate against certain faiths to come into this country, why, if they're coming into our country or Britain, do they have to be told not to frickin' rape a woman? Why are we letting in anybody? Why is Britain letting in anybody if they have to be told you can't rape a frickin' woman? What in God's name? You're pressing a destruct button over and over again trying to destroy your country. So they say women must consent to sex in all situations. Women are allowed to work, and they're allowed to study, and they're allowed to make their own decisions, and do not need permission from men. And failing to adhere to the result can result in their asylum claim being rejected. Let me tell you something. If you have to tell somebody not to rape women, if you have to tell somebody a woman doesn't need permission to do something for a man, if you have to tell a frickin' man that a woman is allowed to work and study, then don't let them into your country. This is basic human rights and dignity. Our women are not cattle. Insane. When I do something that I think is pretty good, I write down the time code so I can use it to cut it up into a smaller thing. It's just insane, okay? Minnesota AG Keith Ellison is trying to extradite an ICE officer who's in custody in Texas. He was the ICE officer, if you recall, during Operation Metro Surge, that was attacked by 2 illegals, one with a broom, and then he hit the guy in the leg. And they're saying that he was criminally, negligent or committed crimes. The United States Department of Justice says he didn't do anything wrong. He was doing it in the scope of his duties. And so they don't want this guy prosecuted. Minnesota wants to hang a scalp. They've also prosecuted another ICE guy, or are trying to. And my answer is hell no. Governor Abbott came out and said absolutely not until you do this. Where is Governor Abbott? There.
First of all, I don't trust Tim Walz on anything, let alone something like this. But listen, while they're making demands, I got a demand of my own. And that is, it's time for Minnesota to step up and repay the United States of America and Americans for all the fraud that they've committed in their state under federal programs. And I will not respond to them at all until they step up and do what's right and they acknowledge their fault and the fraud that took place, and they fully repay the United States of America for the fraud they committed.
There's like 6 days before the extradition request it goes bye-bye, and Governor Abbott's not going to honor it, nor should he. Big middle finger to Minnesota. You are not coming for our ICE. You're not coming for our cops. Big middle finger. McKinney, the recall. They're trying to recall it in McKinney and suburban Dallas-Fort Worth because of stuff with mosques and approving things. And they say it's not just about mosques, but it is. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. And all I know is that if you want to recall people, then do it. And if I was in McKinney, I would vote for the recall. I would sign up for it. And you have the former mayor, George Fuller, intimidating and attacking the people that are on there, saying it's fair game. We'll know who all you are, which is disgusting. And now crazy woke left lunatics are attacking and trying to threaten and encourage people to obfuscate, like to sign up for the petition and put fake names, to call the restaurants or places where they're hosting the petition drives and tell them, and bully the place of business into canceling events where they're doing petition drives. This is from the Dallas Express today. Organizers behind the effort to recall 4 McKinney elected officials, 3 city council members, and the mayor, which I support totally. I do. People are trying to disrupt the signature collection. Some leftist, awful, affluent, white, liberal, urban liberal lady is putting on TikTok and telling everybody to, again, fake signatures, harass people. They're following them to their cars. Recall organizer John Azelton told Dallas Express today that the campaign collected 1,500 signatures. They need 5,800 by September 26th. They're going to get them. I might reach out to him, actually, to see if he can come on the show. I got several people that are going to be coming on the show. Ed Morrissey from Hot Air is coming on tomorrow. He's awesome. I had him on the air in Chicago 2 days ago when I was filling in there. He's a great political commentator and writer. Kira Davis, who exposed the mosques inside of our airport. Here she is. Back.
I'm the only woman in this job. I've seen 5 Muslims come in prayer.
She's coming on the show next week, and so much more in the pike, guys. So good time. I love having people on. It's fun. Different aspect of this show, which is good. She's telling people to create fake online signups, all this kind of stuff. The organizer of the recall, John Azelton, alleged that individuals have followed prospective petition signers to their vehicles, repeatedly attempted to interrupt people during the signing process. Why, if McKinney doesn't want a recall of its people, of its city councilors and mayor, why do you have to harass, cajole, and bully people into not signing? Why? If you're right, let the chips fall where they may. You're wrong, and you're going to lose, and that's why. Now, look, I don't know, but I think they're going to get the recall petition unequivocally. But the problem is the vote. I fear that there's too many liberals, leftists, people that are going to show up because people in our camp have low voter turnout unless it's like a presidential election, and that's why they always win. So I fear the worst, but I hope the petition wins. I hope they get it on the ballot. In just a moment, this is 1 second here. I want to get into the next one. Here we go. Have you heard of traffic blocks? I've got some pictures of them. You got to hear these people in Louisville, suburban Dallas-Fort Worth, complaining about traffic blocks. I'm going to show you pictures of them. It's like, are you freaking a special needs person? What are you, stupid? I'll tell you about that. You'll see the pictures. A sweet K-9 officer has died. I want to show you his picture and talk about him. American Airlines and the video screens you can watch movies on. All that's coming up in just a moment. But first, my wife and I were just talking, and I said, can you believe, isn't it the best thing we've ever done for our house, going to Blue Ribbon DFW, Blue Ribbon Roofing? Blue Ribbon Roofing? Blue Ribbon Roofing? And she said, yeah, our house is freaking gorgeous. Because they didn't just replace the roof. They didn't just replace the decking, which my last roof replacement was 7 years ago, and they didn't replace the decking, even though it is by code in my area, in most areas, Code says the decking, if you replace the shingles, has to be a certain, thickness. Mine was a joke. It was mushy when you go up there since I bought the house. Not anymore. They put brand new decking on it, but they also blew up my house on the outside, the exterior with the damage and painting, and they made shutters from scratch. They put in and stained a brand new wood door. And I got Class 4 shingles. Get Class 4 shingles. I'm going to show you how to contact Blue Ribbon DFW or Blue Ribbon Roofing at blueribbondfw.com in a second, but get Class 4 shingles. Get them on your roof. When you hit 8 years, there's a lot of insurance policies right now. When you hit 8 years or later, they will not pay out the full amount. They give you actual cash value versus real cash value. So literally, it's like if it costs $35,000 to replace your whole roof and deck, they might only give you, I'm making up numbers here, like $30,000, and you pay the rest for depreciation. In addition to your freaking what's it called? Your deposit, or no, your deductible. Let me show you some pictures real fast. This is brown, what do you call it? Copper gutters. Look at how beautiful they are. And the black accents they painted. These are shutters from scratch that Blue Ribbon DFW built for me on all my windows now. This is the I stop by this door when I walk around my house. I stop by the door. I did it this morning, especially when I'm tired. I'm working my ass off, excuse my language, with these fill-ins. And I just smell that wood. It smells so the stain, the fresh stain. It's gorgeous what they did to my house. Here they are putting here's the old roof with John Hopkins, the owner of DFW, Blue Ribbon DFW on my house. Look at what my shingles looked like before.
Fiberglass mat underneath the shingle.
There's some of the damage he's showing me, but look at the new roof now. Look at them. Look at how beautiful these black shingles are. Class 4 shingles. I got a $615 discount off my roof after I put in Class 4 shingles. Also, the new roof discount totals up $2,200 off of my annual deductible. Can you believe it? My deductible for my house went from $5,500 to $3,300, like that, thanks to Blue Ribbon. On the right is John Hopkins, his wife Tish. On the left, Trevor and his wife Jenna. I've worked with all of them, talked to all of them. They're great. Go to blueribbondfw.com, 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 and tell them Chris Croc sent you. Now, I want to tell you a story that's going to be a little difficult. Look, do you go to, let me get this one on, put myself back on. Do you go to, adult bookstores? Do you buy adult things from adult places? Here's what you might not know. In the back, there could be a minor being sex trafficked. It just happened in Dallas-Fort Worth in a joint operation with the Dallas Police, Texas IRS Criminal Division Investigation Office, and the Attorney's Office from the Northern District of Texas. Busted Paris Adult Bookstore on Harry Hines in Dallas. They were minors and adults being sex trafficked, held against their will, sex trafficked. What happens when a woman or a girl is sex trafficked afterwards? Many of them are sex trafficked by the people that supposedly love them or care for them. Many of them are sex trafficked by their own moms for drugs and such when they're kids. Here's the deal. They're mad at the world. They blame themselves. They don't realize they're a victim. They lose custody of their children. And they have no advocate. I want you to imagine being that woman. Now I want you to imagine you are in a safe house. And that's literally what they're called, safe house. Can you imagine being a woman hiding out in a safe house? And the only person that cares for you is your case manager. And then you get handed off to some counselors while you're staying at the safe house. And they help you to rebuild your life. Through licensed professional counseling, that is Christ-centered, licensed professional Christian counseling. The women get their kids back. They get the courage to ask a judge if they can get a second chance with their kids, and they get them. Some of them testify to put their sex traffickers in jail. There's an organization that's 501c3 that does this licensed professional counseling in Dallas-Fort Worth, and it's called Thrive Counseling Services, and I donate to them regularly. They're on my automatic debit every month, and they're incredible. And North Texas Giving Day is coming up, and you can even donate right now. And North Texas Giving Day, as you know, is a massive event, and so I want you to donate right now, like I do. Help women know that they're loved, that Jesus and Christ loved that, and God loved them, and to get that licensed professional counseling to stop blaming themselves, stop hating themselves, stop being mad at the world, stop doing drugs, and to be healed with God's healing and become a church member and a productive member of society. Let them know how much you care and how much you love them. By going to that address, here's also a QR code for Thrive Counseling. Let me see, where's my QR code on that? Where did it go? Here it is. This is the QR code. You can scan that right now and donate. All right, do it. I do it. It's an amazing group. You're taking back ground that the enemy stole, is what the founder and president and counselor Stacy Silva says. You're helping these women take back the ground that the enemy stole from them. All right? So there it is. There's a QR code. And one more time, I'm going to give you the address at the bottom of the screen. Donate right now. Don't wait. Show these women how much they are loved and cared for. Okay? There's the address. All right. Also, here we go. Louisville, suburban Dallas. I've never heard of traffic blocks. Have you? Traffic blocks apparently help with people that are speeding. I wouldn't think they would, but nonetheless, here's what they look like from a wide angle. Let me get my little graphic off the screen there. Okay, traffic blocks. Okay, close up of the traffic blocks. This is to slow down traffic. See that? You hit that, you're screwed. Look at that big tire mark right there. And then here's the wide angle traffic blocks. How does that stop? I'm being serious. I'm not being witty or facetious. How does that stop people from speeding? I mean, you can still speed and go in that lane. It does. But the funniest thing in the world are the morons, some morons in the neighborhood that live there and are mad. They're complaining about them because you're seeing, like, they show chunks of concrete ripped out from people hitting them. I showed you that one with tire marks. Louisville reviewing Castle Hill's traffic block after public outcry. Hey, we keep hitting concrete. Well, drive on the frickin' road the legal way. What are you, stupid? Are you special needs? After some residents expressed concerns about speeding in the area, they put these traffic blocks up, okay? And critics of the blocks say drivers continue to hit and damage them even after they've been installed. Well, that's the idea. If you speed, you'll hit them and you'll have a problem. That's good. That's what it's supposed to be there for. Stop speeding. One woman says, this woman's just such a twit, do we need to go to this extreme and spend $1 million to put multiple concrete hazards in the middle of a roadway? How's it a hazard? It's in the middle of the freaking road, woman. Are you special needs? Can you not drive? Maybe her license should be taken away. So I'm having fun today with you. She wants to know if there's a plan for the regular maintenance of these blocks. Cyclists don't use that lane. It's a two-way lane. It's very narrow. It collects debris, and the cyclists we've talked to, they prefer to be on the same side of traffic. Well, that's a you problem. That's a them problem. Other neighborhood area residents are indifferent. Quote, it seems like it's already even done, so just leave it where it is, says one guy. I don't think they're that bad. Exactly. I mean, come on. Can you believe people can't drive around this? Unbelievable. North Richland Hills police officer, canine police officer, and their officers died. I'm going to read you a little, kind of a little obituary from the Dallas News today. I want to show you a picture of this beautiful dog, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you first why. I have a friend who's retired canine from one of the local police departments around where I'm at. We became fast friends when they lost an officer in the line of duty, and I was talking about him and his wife and honoring them like profusely, day in and day out, after it happened. And he contacted me and brought me a shirt honoring Officer David Sherrard. And there's an area on 75, Central Expressway in Dallas, Fort Worth, that is called Officer David Sherrard Drive, or David Sherrard Expressway. Don't ever forget that name. He's a hero. He was murdered while serving us in Richardson Police Department. North Richardson, and the canine, that cop that reached out to me and gave me one of his shirts, the shirts honoring him with the police department, was a canine cop. And he brought that Belgian Malinois over all the time to my house when he was on duty. When they're doing the beat, they can swing by for 5 minutes. my daughter and my son were younger, and the Belgian Malinois, he taught me so much about what they do. He let me and my kids play tug of war with the dog. Obviously, the dog can beat the crap out of you. You can tug it a little bit with it, and then fetch stuff with him. When he in his squad pulled up to my house, and he hit the button on the back of the SUV, and it comes up, and the dog goes, boom, and and you're like, holy crap, it's terrifying. He's on our side though, and that's and then also the retired officer would call me. I'd be on my way home from my show in the evening in Dallas, and he'd say, "Hey, we're doing training." He trained with 2 or 3 other suburban canine cops, and they would all meet at like an abandoned fire station that was still owned by the city, or at schools, and get the keys to schools, and at night turn lights on and do exercises to train for the dogs to keep them sharp and trained. And they brought me in to watch this several times. And it's unbelievable, those dogs. They literally can sit there without a leash, prone or whatever, where they're sitting on their chest. And there'll be a fake criminal. It's one of the officers. If they all switch different weeks, they wear, each one of them one week wears the suit where they get bitten. And the suit with the bad guys over there, and the cop has the canine down on the ground. And it's simulating an office environment. They have desks all over, so the canine has to get up over desks to get the bad guy. And the commands, "Packen," in German, I believe. Other commands, and the dog sitting on its, chest, prone, or whatever it's called, and it's like quietly, it wants to get the bad guy, not until he's ordered. Other times, one of the officers is in the training is patting down the fake bad guy, the cop who's dressing up in the suit. He's patting him down, and the dog is sitting, again across the room, prone, kind of whining a little bit because like I want to go, and then the dog has been trained to only go while he's off a leash on the ground over across the room once there is a struggle. So the bad guy, the cop in the suit, the suit they wear when they get bit by the dog during training. The cop, all of a sudden, the bad guy, messes with the cop while he's patting him down, and the dog just goes, no commands. These are police officers too, and here he is. I'm going to tell you his story right now, but I want to just show you this. Look at that officer, that young, awesome, strapping officer who will save our lives in a nanosecond with the K-9 unit of North Richland Hills Police and that beautiful little dog. Not little, sorry. He now passed away from cancer. North Richland Hills Police K-9, Dallas Morning News reports, survived being shot. That K-9 was shot in the line of duty. Sweetheart. That's sweetheart. And rip your head off, but that's sweetheart. Koba, a 12-year-old Belgian Malinois, died peacefully early Tuesday after cancer diagnosed in late July was determined to be too advanced to treat. I'm so sad. So sorry. He was the first North Richland Hills Patrol K-9 to die while actively serving and had been scheduled to retire in October. Koba began training with his handler right here, Officer Chris Lizak. God bless you, Officer Lizak. God bless you, my friend. In June 2016, over the next decade, the pair kicked ass and took names. That's my little expression. They worked alongside with other law enforcement agencies, patrols, narcotics detention. In 2019, that beautiful Belgian Malinois you're looking at was shot while responding to an armed person experiencing suicidal crisis. He survived and later received the department's police commendation bar. Can I just tell you something? I'm getting a little emotional. Can I just tell you, that officer right there, that canine officer, he was shot in the line of duty. That's sweetheart. Just so touching. And he survived, thank God. Koba began showing signs of medical problems late July. So, last month, man. 3 weeks ago? Damn it, this sucks. A veterinarian diagnosed him with cancer. Further testing showed the disease was too advanced for treatment. He spent his final weeks at home with his family. You beautiful, sweet dog. Oh, we love you so much. You sweetheart. My dog, my 7-pound dog is, my wife says when it's like, what's wrong with you? She's like 12 she's like 13 or 14. I don't even know. She's older now. She's a little Chihuahua Maltese Hef, and they live longer. So she's probably got year 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 left. I don't know. But my wife will say when she's like like just about half hour ago, before I started my podcast, right before I started it, she brought some groceries home, and I was helping her unload. And the dog, no, she was going to pick up the groceries that we ordered online, And the dog comes out. She's going to the bathroom, and I'm out there, talking to my wife, saying goodbye, coming in to get ready for my podcast. And the dog, and my wife says, come on, you want to go? Let's go. My little 7-pound dog. Like, she can hop in the car on her own and hang out and go, because my wife's not leaving her in the car. She's driving there, getting groceries loaded onto the car and coming back home. And the dog literally always goes and loves it. But this time she's sitting there doing nothing. And my wife's whole line with that is she's stroking out. She's stroking out. She's stroking out. It's a joke, obviously. I'm like, no, she's not. Sometimes my wife swears she is. She's just older, I think. I don't know. So she didn't go in the car, which is what she loves to do. It's like, what's wrong with you? Do you not understand? So she came back in the house with me. American Airlines bringing back seatback screens to narrow-body jets. I repeat, American Airlines bringing seatback screens to narrow-body jets. It's about time. What the hell happened with that? Please, hello. Hey, are you single? I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for you. I'm married happily, 26 years. Thank you, God. Do you feel a burden maybe of being single? Do you have a family and friends that, are there for you? If you don't, or if you are single and you just want more of a sense of community and people loving you and backing you and being there for you, then I have the best Bible study, singles Bible study you can go to in the Metroplex. And it's right here at Prestonwood Baptist Church in Plano. Here's some pictures I'm going to show you. They do roller rink events. Look at this. They do free play where you do video games and have dinner. Here's Pastor Brandon and his preaching. All these people showing up, all these single people, these wonderful single people. Here he is in another environment there, also in the same room, probably your area, preaching. And there's a single. Look at that guy in the lower right. He looks like Brad Pitt. All sorts of great people showing up. I'm not trying to make you date anybody here. I'm just telling you, singles group. They give you a hug when you show up, too, if you want. Here's the greeters. So I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to give you, here is, nope, wrong one. I have too many, here we go. Here's how you can find them. You go to Facebook and put in Resonate Singles. You'll find them. Resonate Singles at Prestonwood Baptist Church is absolutely by far the best place you can go for a singles ministry, singles Bible study. Every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. There we go. Every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. It is at Prestonwood Baptist Church. It's 30s plus, and it's such an amazing Sundays, or I should say, Wednesday night Bible study for singles. It's so awesome that people in the class are paying me to tell you about it. Preston was not paying for this. It was approved by Pastor Brandon, who does the singles ministry, but it's somebody in the class, some people in the class are paying for it because they love it that much. They want you to know about it. How cool is that? So it's Wednesdays at 6:30 at Prestonwood Church in the Prestonwood Christian Academy building in the Horner Room. But you can just go to Prestonwood Church Wednesday at 6:30 and say, where's the singles ministry? Meaningful support, Bible study, warm fellowship. And I'm going to give you also a QR code if you want to scan that so you can see how to go. Go and enjoy. It's amazing. And, I mean, what else can I tell you? People are paying me to tell you about it. It's so amazing for them. So there's your QR code. Wait, wrong one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little off the beam today. There it is. For the Resonate Singles Bible Study, you scan that QR code, and it'll take you right where you need to go to sign up. Not to sign up, but to see about it and to find out. Warm fellowship before, during, and after with friends who become family. Weekly meetings followed by dinner at Jimmy John's, Chili's, Snuffers, Free Play, Fuzzies. Fun events. They go to car shows, roller skating, learn how to dance East Coast swing. It's all there at Prestonwood Singles Bible study every Wednesday at 6:30. And I'll show one more time. This is their emblem they have on top of their Facebook page, and this is where you can put this in your Facebook, Google it in Facebook, and it'll come right up. All right, go. Look forward to hearing your thoughts. It's supposed to be an incredible, incredible singles class. Since I'm not single, I'm not going to go. You have to trust me. Dallas to slap barnacles on cars with multiple unpaid tickets. This is great. Watch this. Now I'm going to show you the barnacle. Hold on.
Now, police use this yellow device.
I'm going to pause it. So this is what's called a barnacle, okay? They unfold it, and it locks on your windshield so you can't drive the car instead of putting a boot on your car. but apparently you can scam them. Check this out. Watch this from this video I just found up.
Now, police use this yellow device, which clamps onto your windshield with 1,000 pounds of suction. But a group of college students completely cracked it in 48 hours. It is called the Barnacle. It weighs 17 pounds, stretches over 3 feet wide, and the idea behind it is simple. It blocks the driver's visibility so you cannot run without paying the fine. And if you try to rip it off by force, the windshield breaks before the seal does. Normally, you have to scan a QR code, pay the fine, and enter a 4-digit code into the keypad to release it. But when the University of Oklahoma deployed them, the students tore the system apart in 2 days. One figured out that running the car defroster for 15 minutes weakened the suction enough to slide a credit card under the seal. Another wrapped the device in aluminum foil to completely block its GPS tracking. And then, the shocking part. Another student realized the device contained a SIM card with unlimited data, so he hacked it to get free internet on his phone for months, forcing the police to change the whole design.
Can you believe this? So, good luck, Dallas. They're doing the Barnacle. I don't have a problem with it if you don't pay your tickets and get busted. It's just so funny. Did you see, everybody has seen the late Lindsey Graham's sister in the debate last night? This is a clown show. This is embarrassing. This is horrific.
Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States, and if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, but I do support the military.
She can't be a senator like that. You can't do that. That's AOC level incompetency on that. I mean, she's had a couple of weeks, or 4 weeks? I have no idea. She can't be the senator. She just can't. I'm not trying to be rude. I actually really liked Lindsey Graham a lot. I didn't like him on Ukraine, and he wanted. Remember when Rush called him Lindsey Grahamnesty because he wanted to do amnesty for the illegals? Hell no. But other than that, he was a war hawk that I loved. He had a pair of big swinging you-know-whats, and he realized he had a chance to either work with Trump and get a lot more power and get a lot more things he wants accomplished or not. And he made the right decision to work with Trump and became one of the most closest trusted advisors of President Donald J. Trump. I think she's great being interim, but she just can't do it, man. I feel bad, but she can't. She just can't. It's unbelievable. Here's a great story. 2 last quick stories for you that are fantastic, that are very well worth waiting around for. U.S. quietly deporting Mexican illegals to Guatemala and Honduras. We're making it hard for the illegals from Mexico because we're flying over Mexico and dumping them in Guatemala and Honduras, so they have less reason to come back and less likely because we're going to make them miserable and send them way the heck below Mexico. Good luck getting back home. Get out of this country. I love it. Liberia just announced it's going to receive 1,200 illegals. They've agreed to take 1,200 of our illegals being deported. Send the Mexican illegals to Liberia. Por favor, grassy ass. Who is safer regarding guns and homicides? Are you safer in a blue city, in a blue state, or safer in a red state and red city? Well, here it is. I was filling in yesterday in Chicago. I was filling in last Friday in Chicago, my hometown. And Chicago had 211 murders so far in the first 6 months of this year. 211 murders. When you combine Miami, Orlando, and Tampa, which has about the almost exact same population combined, when you combine them, there are only 29 homicides so far. Orlando, Miami, and Tampa. But yet in Chicago, 211. Which state bans guns as much as they can? Which state despises guns? Which state seeks to take away your guns? Which city? The homicide capital. The homicide area. Carry your guns, get trained if you want to, carry your gun if you want to, and be safe, and kick butt and take names. Guns save lives. This show's been brought to you by IRSprob.com. That's IRSPROB.com, helping good people with IRS problems.